Hearing none, we'll take that under advisement, we appreciate the information, and we'll, make some kind of decision.
Thank you.
Ms. Jones, would this require the county to, provide any sort of, typically, where I'm going is, the cities typically provide services within the territorial boundaries of their local government. The county, of course, does it outside the city boundaries, which is the unincorporated areas. Do you have any sort of sense of what, and to the extent the county would be asked to provide services that typically a city would inside the territorial limits of the city?
Pulling weeds and a little mowing.
And you're sure that's all it would be?
I don't know. I just be honest with you, but from what I've been told, it's going to be filled with 60,000 herbaceous perennial plants, 400 trees. It's all going to be wildlife, well, plants and stuff. So I don't see what maintenance would be needed, really.
Okay.
But the number two option is to not own it and not do any maintenance whatsoever. And you still get, an incentive for being a statutory partner.
Right. And the reason I'm asking is this is the first one of these I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So until this morning, I was not aware of this program.
Oh.
The reason I asked the question that way is typically the Constitution of our state, and this is true in a lot of states around the country, they prohibit a county from providing services inside a city and the reverse. And so I just wanted to make sure that our commission understood, and anyone that's interested in this, that is always a limitation. It can be cured with what's called an intergovernmental agreement, but we just couldn't, if we were being asked to provide services in Reidsville, we couldn't do it
Right.
without that kind of consent.
Right.
So anyway.
Option two, you don't do anything. You just be pretty and sit in the back, I guess you could say.
Right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. City of Collins, Hill Pad Project, Ricky Gerald, first district coalition.
City of Collins has asked for help with a helipad that the, and I was gonna get the walk, and I haven't done it, and I apologize for that. Up there next to the old school in Collins that belongs to the city, the Lifeline company has requested a 50 pad, and everyone was wanting to know if there was any way the county could help them with that. We've also been asked in the past to help the city of Cobbtown in their pad. So I make a motion that we look at this and see what we can do and get together on it. I don't know that there's anything Tom may could tell us, and Frank, what could be, if anything could be done to help them with this situation.
What is this helipad in connection with, Commission?
With EMA, Lifeline. It's in conjunction with the fire department and rescue, EMS too.
And with the city of Collins, is this on a piece of property they own?
They own, yes.
Well, funny enough, the comments I just made on the prior agenda item would be relevant here. We can certainly get with the leadership of the city of Collins, and if we decide that we can come to a consensus on it, we can enter into the intergovernmental agreement that would kind of put in writing exactly what the obligations would be on both sides.
The location would be in the city of Collins, but it would be for everybody. There's 500 some people live in the city, but there's 4,000 that would more than likely be one of those 3,500 that didn't live in the town. Be informed from Is that correct?
The reason for this is we use the old elementary school there in Collins in that yard to land helicopters for emergency. And the school is now private property. We've got permission to use it, but the city owns the property, and that takes the liability away from the county of landing on this private property. And the city's offered to do this. So it's more convenient for them too, because it's right behind the fire station. The city would actually be manning this helipad during the landing. They would be the fire department that's responsible for it, so.
They own the lights and things that would be brought there to
Yes.
assist in the landing.
Yes, they're gonna fix it to the standards that AirEvac requires, just like the hospital, the one out here at the hospital. And the one in Coptown now, they've got it finished.
And, Walt, if I'm wrong, correct me, but this Life Flight that is requesting these helipads to be put in different places, make it more convenient for them to land in a safer zone, is what I was told.
Yes, any opportunity they have for somebody to build one, they prefer to land there instead of a hayfield out here somewhere in the county. They prefer to take them to that helipad where it's safer. And the fact is, it's hard to roll a stretcher across a hayfield or a plowed onion field. It's rough, so that's the purpose of that.
Let me say this, they're in the process of selling that school also, and the project, if it goes through, then that will be out of the picture. You won't be able to use it anyway,
Where they're landing now.
where they're landing now.
Yes.
Well, two things, we have a helipad near our hospital in between lines and Vidalia. And I think it's actually owned by Memorial, but in any event, this is doable. But we need to get an IGA in place, and so if the commission would consider a motion to work with the city to negotiate, the IGA, I'm happy to assist in that regard.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think too, remember Snapper, Frank might can refresh my memory. We did some site work at Cosdown, I think, for their helipad, pretty sure we did some site work. Lynn might, we'll keep that in mind too. Okay, thank you, Rick. ACC,
So, Rick, you made, is that your,
Yeah.
making your motion to work with the city
Right.
and?
Yes, that's my motion.
Okay.
have a motion on the floor, have a second. Have a second, all in favor say aye. Okay, we'll pursue with that and see what we got to go with that.
Work with the city.
ACCG Retirement Service Rule of 80 case study request. Ms. Angel?
Yes, sir. We have requested a case study on the Rule of 80 for our retirement plan. The ACCG offers a one free case study per plan. So there were three cases that we've requested, or three plans that we are looking into to see what the difference will be to go to the Rule of 80, which is the years of age plus years of service have to equal 80 with a minimum age of 55. The first case study will be all full-time employees with the county. The second will be a public safety employee only plan, and that would include the sheriff's office, jail, court security, EMS, 911, EMA, and Southern Nuclear. And then our third that you will be requesting will be all employees plus a 3% pre-tax contribution by the employee, and that would be what they would put in 3% based on their gross income per pay period. I do believe Christine said it'd take a couple months before we get it in.
I believe our representative ACCG said it'll take a couple of months for the actuaries and all to look at our funding, or our defined benefit retirement, which is fully funded by the county, as y'all know. But at the end, she'll come and go back through the numbers with the board on what the impact will be. But y'all talk about this, and it's one of the legs to the stool of retaining and recruiting good employees and get them to stay with us for long term, address the insurance situation, the healthcare situation. Salaries have been addressed, or trying to address the salary situation. This would be, a lot of folks would like to retire at 55. This would be the opportunity to see how much it would cost to move it back to 55 for those that stay with you for, you'd have to start at 25 and stay with it for 30 years for this to, you know, to get done for 55. But now it's 60 for early retirement, 65 for full-time. But this is a feasibility study at no charge, and she'll bring the results to the board for consideration.
We should have the results by the next meeting.
No, we just started the process.
Oh,
It'll be a couple months.
Any other questions about anything else about it? All right, we need a motion to move on with it.
I make that motion.
Have a motion, have a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, Ms. Lane. Okay, Mr. Dennis, so, lot 11 has.
All right, well, y'all know what this is, but it's a matter of information for those here that's not familiar with it. Occasionally, we do spot leveling in some of our paved roads in the county, which what that means is we'll have areas with multiple potholes, or either the road will be failing for 100 or a couple hundred feet maybe, or sometimes shorter than that. And what we do is we got a contractor to go in and actually pave that section to cover up all of this. And this list here that I'm proposing is 7 roads, and I'll list those: Cedar Creek Church Road, Old Manassas Collins Road, via Mosley Road, Bubba Kennedy Road, Lee Durham's Road, Beards Creek Church Road, and Harris Kicklight Road. And just to be clear, this is just small sections on each one of these roads. And also, I'd like to ask the commissioners, or tell the commissioners, this is well under our budget for the rest of the year. So if y'all know of any other spots we need to catch, that I can add to this list, I've got enough in the budget to add some to this. So, when y'all approve this, I'm asking you to do approve it, if you know of any other areas, just let me know and we can add to that.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners regarding what Mr. Dennis has presented? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion, we proceed. Have a motion, have a second. Have a second, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Dennis. You got something too, I think.
In 2015, y'all added numerous roads to our system. 2 of those being Garden Circle and Garden Road. And at the time, we were already maintaining several of these, all the roads y'all approved, we were already maintaining. So our county attorney at the time said we had prescriptive rights, so we never did actually get right of way to any of these roads that were added. Now, this road, Garden Circle and Garden Road, there is a platted right of way of 60 feet. And up until now, we've just been maintaining the roadway inside of that right of way, and it has not been a problem, but, Ricky said that there are utilities out there now putting utilities on that right of way. And since we don't own the right of way, we can't tell them not to do it. So what I'm proposing is to let Tom get the title search and prepare deeds for this right of way, and let Alderman Hall, I'm assuming Alderman Hall Equipment still owns it, that's who owned it originally at that time when it was, these lots were sold. Or we find that out in the title search, but whoever the current owner is, see if they would deed us this 60-foot right of way so we can maintain control of the entire 60 feet. And that way, if we ever pave the road, it'll be clear. You know, we've had issues with that in some of our roads too, so. I'd like to ask for y'all to approve for Tom to do the research and prepare the deeds. we may need to get the surveyors that did this plat to plat out the road itself. It does not give a area for the road itself, which that's gonna be minimum, so I'd like to get approval to do that.
Okay, any questions about that from the commission?
Where is this located?
It's right on the Toombs County line off of 292.
292, just across the
Corner of the Hood
bridge.
River and 292. They developed some on the south side. Autumn Hall Equipment Company.
I got you.
I can't think of the guy's name, you know it, real nice guy. Bachelor.
I just was curious.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion, we approve and go forward with this.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, a like sign. Thank you, Mr. Nichols.
Just for, while we're on this, just for clarification, these lots are now selling like hotcakes. They're, I mean, it's been there for years, nobody's bought, but now, all of a sudden, they're starting to sell them like that. So we need to get on it as quick as we can, because they are setting a power company, and I've addressed it with them, and they promised me that they wouldn't do that no further, but they have set light poles in our restricted right of way. All right,
Okay, thank you. All right, Al, paint bid. Frank, you gonna do the paint? He's gonna do it. The initial annex, Board of Elections Office, Tax Commissioner's Office, Tax Assessor's Office, County Project Manager, Al Dappler. Present that.
Yeah, you've got a breakdown in your packet showing the bids we received. The low bid I'm concerned with because the price of the annex. Just the cost of the annex was right at half of the next bidder. And I have talked with that person and checked his references. Of course, his references checked out. Because they're not gonna list anybody who's gonna be a bad reference. But I've also talked with the person and he assures me that he can do the annex for that price and do a good job. I still have my doubts about that. I feel like something's been left out, and I questioned him on that. He still says that he feels comfortable with that price. But my recommendation would be to go with the number 2 bid, Painters on Demand. Total cost, the grand total, is about $14,000 higher than the low bid. And another reason that I suggest that we do not use the low bid was, I had them, on the 4 buildings, I had them price each building separately, just so we would know where we were. On the other 3 buildings, the tax assessor, tax commissioner, and board of elections, those numbers match everybody else down the line. It's just the annex that it was way out of proportion to all the other bids, and that's what's got me concerned. There again, my recommendation would be to go with the number 2 bid, of Painters on Demand.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions from the commission?
Where that coming from?
North Georgia. I can't remember exactly what town in North Georgia, but
The low bid.
no, the low bid was also in North Georgia, but Painters on Demand was also, the number 2 bid was also in North Georgia. The number 3 bid we got is a local painter.
That'd be Fred Cook.
Yes, that is a local painter from here in Reidsville.
Any other questions or comments?
Is this just labor,
No, this is,
paint too?
yes, labor and material.
That J&D, they have the insurance, bond and everything required.
Yes. Yeah, they included, copies of all that in their bid packet.
Painters on demand is local.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
What was your original estimate?
My original estimate was like 95. For the 4 buildings.
For the 4
My
buildings?
original estimate just for the annex was like, I believe it was 67 or so in that neighborhood cost. Which is, well, like the guy from Reidsville, number 3, his cost from the annex was 66. That's right in line with my estimate. Painters on Demand was 50, you know, a little bit cheaper. You know, we had several plus or minus 10 or 15% from my estimate.
So the 94,764 from Fresh Coat includes everything and fits into what your original estimate was.
Yes.
Well, this J&B painting, will it give you a, signed contract saying that he will finish? I mean, I know it's just paper, but when he sent, give you, that he can do it for that and,
Oh yeah, we'll make sure, we'll have a contract for whoever does the job, saying that it will be done for that price.
Construction bond.
Yeah.
I think you skipped the floor.
I think something.
I don't believe he's got the whole thing, he can't do that.
You went
And
back
it's
to North.
$27,000. And
Seems
he's
to me
the
like
way in the
you-
world, I don't know nothing about paint.
I don't feel comfortable with
I
it.
can picture him going back to North Georgia in his office and breaking down by square foot, and he forgot one whole half of the annex, I believe.
Well, I questioned him on that, but
He said not.
he said not, but I just don't feel like Annex is gonna get the attention it deserves, for quality work at that price.
Now, let me ask you, pretty much all the other buildings are within the ballpark, everybody else is pretty much the same thing on those?
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Chair, I want to make a motion that we take whoever Mr. Howe says, whatever like that, on the bids, whoever we accept, whoever you think's the best deal, for everything but the annex, just rebid the annex. That would be what I would hope we could do again, rebid the annex.
That'll be the third time. Sir?
Is there, I mean, I'm asking.
That would be the third time on that. That would be the third time bidding that.
Third time we got bids.
I don't think we could bid because you put the bid packages are all inclusive. Even though you asked them to do them separately, you made the bid for all the buildings. So that's what these people have placed their bid on, is to complete all buildings. So it would need to be disregard all and rebid each building individually, or rebid in a package, but these bids could not be considered unless they were in the whole.
Yeah, I asked the contractors to price each building separately. But we would award on a total number. And the reason I wanted to price separately is because I was not sure at that time if these separate buildings would, the funds would come from a different source, or in the county. If it all came from the county general fund, or if it came from other, like the tax assessor or tax commissioner, if they had their own fund that would contribute toward the job. So I needed to know what each building was gonna cost for that reason.
I'm gonna change my motion to accept the bid, J&D painting, the low bid, $53,000, and just move forward from there, if that's a total package. Nobody may agree, but that's fine.
Which one did you,
The low bid, $53,000, the MD payment.
any comments about that, or we'll entertain a second?
Let me ask one, but how, you will be inspecting these jobs as they perform them, correct? Making sure that they're doing the job that.
I would have to be there on a daily basis, pretty much all day, to make sure,
Well, I mean.
or off and on all day, to make sure that they were,
We got a contract, you have to provide, then we can do whatever we gotta do. I just think we need, I didn't know it's the third time, we just need to move forward.
We have a second on the motion, we have on the floor. Have a second? Here a second or not? No second, motion will fail due to lack of a second. Anything else from the commissioners they want to say or do?
So at this point, are we saying that we're gonna give it to the second highest or lowest? Or are we gonna?
If I understood Mr. Dasher, that was his recommendation.
my recommendation was number 2 quote. But, I mean, it's up to the commission,
Is he
the
local?
board, no.
Is he local? He's out of town too.
If the board would like to, review this further and maybe come up with a answer at a later date, and give you more time to review it.
I would consider making that motion that we look at this further and then come up with a game plan of what we need to do.
Have that motion on the floor, can I get a second?
What's the motion?
Say it again, Rick.
I'll make the motion that we look over this, not make a decision on it today, we take it and look at it and make a decision whether we wanna go with the lowest bid of the 53 or one of the other contractors' bids amongst the commissioners and the board, and make a decision of which one we wanna go with and move on for today.
So a motion to table until the
Until
next meeting?
Yes,
Are you gonna date on the motion to table until next meeting?
next meeting.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second now, all in favor say aye.
Everybody in agreement? December meeting.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you, Hal. Backhoe bid, Glenn Crip.
Good morning. We, bid out for a backhoe to replace one of our well, the oldest ones. And, the bids came in, Low Country, JCB, $166,527.27. Yancey Brothers came in, and Caterpillar came in with $163,732. Let me back up, JCB had a 0 buyback agreement. Caterpillar came in at $163,732 with a $30,000 guaranteed buyback. And Dobbs Equipment from John Deere came in at $167,900 with a guaranteed buyback of $40,000. I'm gonna recommend Caterpillar. It's low bid, and the buybacks, we usually don't keep them past the end of, the weekend, whatever you wanna call this.
Any questions from the commissioner about the low bid, $163,732?
So, just so we understand, you're recommending that we disregard the buyback?
Correct.
Or they're installed anyway?
They're right.
How low they are?
That's
We
correct.
don't have more of that in the machine.
That's right.
And go with the,
Low
take,
bid.
in other words, take the savings now and get the Caterpillar at the low price.
That's correct.
Any other comments or questions? We entertain a motion, we accept that bid. Have a motion, have a second. Have a second. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Good, all opposed, like sign. Thank you, man, you're up next.
Yep. We also took bids on, 2 new bathroom mowers. Ours, this is four, almost like 14-year-old, and, they're pretty well at the end of their, see, the way we run them. And, anyway, we had bids come in from AgPro, which is John Deere product, 52,600. Wait a minute, largely two.
Because they bid 2 different models that were the same spec, that
Oh,
spec'd
okay.
out the same.
Okay.
No, they're both
They're
John
both-
Deere from AgPro, but they were 2 different models, the FC15M and the FC15R, which met all the specs.
I got one was a little bit heavier duty, that's what it said. Okay, 56. Anyway, one was 52,600, the other was 56,000 even. And then last for Tractor Company, with a Rhino, it was 49,900, and again, this is for 2. Ware Parts and Equipment, a Blue Diamond, came in at 48,599 for 2. Atlantic and Southern Equipment with Bushhog brand came in at 49,944, also for 2. Endurance Equipment with Bushwhacker came in at 44,090.22 for 2.
Mr. Winter,
Yes.
did you know that Mr. Wills was an expert in factory motors?
She ordered these, much as we went through these things. I never knew there were so many questions.
Until just now.
Hardly, I've had to read what they presented, and what was presented met or exceeded expectations.
Yeah. We both learned a lot
Next time I need to
on
see
the
it.
process. Because I never knew there was that many different scenarios to Batman's. So anyway, we both learned a lot.
Which one you recommend?
Durst Equipment, located 44,922.
Any questions about that recommendation or the bids from the commission?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we, put this on hold. Go ahead, and we're at the end of our mowing season. And I'd like to see us put these on hold and put the ones that we've got out for good deals, I guess would be, and go ahead and get rid of them and not have these sitting on the yard for 6 or 8 months waiting on, to use them and rebid this in the first year, and that'll help us with our budget, is my recommendation.
You making that a motion?
I'm making that a motion.
Any questions about the motion?
Mr. Chairman, I think the motion needs to be, we'll just table this issue on the back
I
end.
think that's
And then I think in the next meeting, we can articulate exactly what Mr. Gerald wants to do, and that is at the appropriate time, gut that deal with existing batteries. I'm saying, he's all back.
We get a second to that motion?
Also.
Have a second, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. We'll table that until we, thank you. Dean McLeod, tire request. Speak to it, Mr. Dean.
Dean McLeod, first week of April, I was mowing remote ponds. My brother and I built some ponds in 2008 on the Georgia Drive Road, the 3 ponds. There's 2 ponds, the second pond is where the incident happened. There was a sign there that said, "Who busted off ahead, speed limit 25. Whoever put the signs up, put them up wrong. Speed limit up front, the bottom sign, bus ahead, there. Okay, that sign stayed there I say until this year. I didn't see it anymore. Okay, those things were mowed, you got 18 ponds. You mow them 4 or 5 times a year. I do. And this incident, across, because there's a light pole there where the signs were. Someone had pushed the sign over, and I worked with the government all my life, and I worked with the public all my life. Somebody took a motor grader and pushed this sign over, they pushed it under the pond. You can't see it in the grass. It hit the bottom of the tractor. It took the tire completely off the tractor. It almost turned me up. I'm serious, it almost turned me up. It came off and hung under the fender. Okay? I couldn't run over with more because I had to stop. Okay? I got 2 Mexicans. They cut the bead. It was a sign post. It didn't have any sign on it. It was just a post. Big metal post, probably 8 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot. It's different length. It had where you could see where the grader hit. It hit up under the bottom of the tractor, so it's got ring panel. Titan County's got the signs. I had to get the tire. I tried to get it put back on to get it to the shop. The Mexicans put it back on for $100. Put it under the stack house. Went flat. Wasn't any good. I called Collins Tire in Baxter, Georgia. It was over $1,700. I called Mosley Tire. I get special pricing. It was $1,350. So I went and got that tire. Paid $100 more. So I got $1,550 in it. That sign was not there. And I didn't put it there. I would say if you plowed that ditch, which we did Titan County, they plowed it up and didn't clean it up. And I think that Titan County should pay me for that tire. It's on your right. Jackie, you saw the invoice, you saw.
Yeah, we got the invoice.
And you got in the middle at the shop. That's all I asked for. But that could have been serious. Y'all got a lot of pipe that's been there 50 years that need to be cleaned up. I can show you some. It's been there 50 years. Y'all cut tires on, right? But you can't see it in the weeds. If I had hit it with a mower, it would have been a different ballgame. That mower, you just got the prices of it. That mower is about $50,000. And Ronnie can afford it, but I can't. How about that? This is a lot of money. And these tires are a lot of money. But this tractor was young about a week. And I got pictures of it. I got them on the phone. I got them on my computer. And I think you got pictures of that stuff. But if you will consider paying me $1,550, which is right. That's, first of all, the sign shouldn't even been there. It shouldn't have been even placed up, period, but it's not legal to put a sign there. You have to get the state of Georgia to approve signs for speed zone. And that speed zone is 25, school bus stop ahead. They're warranted, but they weren't approved. And I didn't know the sign was there. I've been cutting it since 2008, 4 or 5 times a year. It wasn't there before. So consider, all of it, consider paying for that. But I had to pay for it. I'm not gonna ask my brother to pay for it. It's his tractor, his mower, his pond, but he's been hurt. I've been helping September the 1st. This year be 9 years. He fell on his head 20 foot up. He got hurt. And I'm trying to take care of him.
Okay. We appreciate you coming. We'll take that under advisement. Any comments or questions from the board? Well, you know, if we do that, let's just go. Any other comments or questions? We'll study it with the dean and see what they come up with, and we'll get you an answer. We won't wait for the next meeting, we'll get you an answer, after we do a little workshop study.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. All right, anything else from, anybody, or are we down to public comment? I'll go around the room, we got a room full. Yes, sir.
I want to talk about Tom Rogers Road, off of Kansas Highway. We live
Very
down
familiar
there.
with it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We live down that road, and on one end of the road, the water comes down the road, out of this main driveway, it washes it out. On the other end, at the highway, when we go out that way, this farm have filled in the ditch, and the water backs up on the road, the water got nowhere to go. We have to drive through water to get to the highway. I would hope that the county, I think I talked to him about it, I would hope that the county would go up there, and at least dig that dirt back out of that ditch, and tell that farmer not to put it back in there, so that water won't pile up on the road. Because if we have an emergency down there, the ambulance won't even be able to get down there to even, pick us up if something went wrong, because the water's on one end, the washed out on the other end. And it don't make sense. I think we pay too many taxes for us not to have a way to get out, whatever. And I know we're gonna get a lot of bad weather now, so probably for the next 3 or 4 days, we're gonna have to stay home.
We'll take a look at it, Mr. Lynn, you heard me,
Yeah, I've already sent them out there to pull the ditch.
They pulled the ditch, I'm gonna tell you this, they pulled the ditch and they mounted the road up like this. It rained, it's done washed out right now, we can't hardly go down the road because it's washed out from the center out. So washed out so bad because they didn't flatten the road out, they didn't widen it out, they just put it on a slope like that. And that rain we got, I don't know, I was out of town over the weekend. We, evidently, it happened over the weekend. The rain we got it so washed out, I wish you'd go out there and look at it. It's so washed out now, we can't hardly go down. A man went down with the tractor. Only reason I can go down, I got a 4-wheel drive. But a man went down with the tractor, he couldn't hardly get down because it's so washed out. And my wife can't even get out with her car.
we'll look at it, thank you, Mr. Lynn.
What's your name, sir?
Lenton, Lenton, Butler.
Mr. Terry, you got anything?
Good.
You getting ready, right?
Yes, sir.
Don, you got anything?
I could just mention that we're about 80% on the bathrooms in the VFW part. Due to all this rain, we don't know how much work we're gonna have next week, but I understand that, Autumn Hall would run a roll slide instead of the seat and everything. We got the septic tank system in, we got it hooked up, found the lines. In the process, we found the gas line, we gotta wait a day on that, get clearance on that, so, everything looks good, but all the weather coming in, who knows when Georgia Power can actually do our underground. So we'll have to wait on that. I'm thinking we're probably 2 or 3 weeks out before we can even get that done.
Bathrooms look good.
Yes, sir, they do.
I
They
looked
do
at
a good
them.
job, doing a good job on it.
Let's see. Rachel, you got anything for us?
I'm good, the van is ordered,
Good.
4-H van, and be here in about 8 weeks.
Cop down.
Thank y'all for what you do. We are supposed to have city council tonight at 7. I'm not sure that we are, but, you know, we have a parade in the rain at Christmas. So, if y'all are thinking about coming, you might wanna give me a call around 3 or 4 to Buddy said he'd let me know then. But anyway, y'all are welcome. Come see us.
Okay. Chamber?
I would like to say thank y'all for last month when you passed our Wiregrass Festival and I was an hour, got the time mixed up. Thank you, Frank. So anyhow, we plan on doing that in September. Thank you.
Yellow?
All's good.
Sheriff, you got anything? Good. Walt, you got anything for us?
Yeah. As y'all know, it's coming. the first heading under the weather service email I got this morning is catastrophic flooding. If you got some beaver dams or anything you can get busted out today, you better get them, cause it's coming. I talked with them yesterday, they called me about 3 o'clock and, asked me if we needed anything from them, and they will not turn it, they can't change the direction, so. But I asked them about the numbers, because we're in the neighborhood of anywhere from 12 to 20 inches. And those are firm numbers, they will not wave off of them. He said we may be closer to 30 in spots. They will not, he said those are firm numbers. So we can plan on anywhere from 12 to 20 for sure. Now, you know, they're not correct all the time, but as you can hear, it's done started.
Yeah.
What I would like to remind y'all, Mr. Trim signed the state of emergency for the county this morning. The governor signed one Saturday, went into effect, so everything Lynn did after Saturday when he signed it needs to be on paper. We need to start tracking what we do. If you have to move debris, because I know we just had one fall on Pecan Road somewhere, not exactly sure, but they're gonna start falling with just a little bit of wind, though it's so wet. But if you do move debris, we have what, Lynn, 2? The one at Ricky's yard that's approved, and one in Louisville. Which one in Louisville?
The yard, or what are you talking
The
about?
debris pipe, debris places. I can't remember what the
We
name
can
is.
put it on the south yard, but as a rule, right now, we're only using the north yard.
Yeah, so if you're moving debris, if you plan to put it, if you got a lot, and Lynn knows this, it has to be an approved spot before we can dump it. It don't take just putting a request in, send it up, they'll send back the approval, and they'll dump it. We can't burn it till they approve us to burn it, so it's tricky. Not calling you out or anything.
That's the reason I burned it last week, so we're fresh.
Right, good. What else is there? Yeah, anything that y'all do, please let Lynn know if it's not in the normal scope of what Lynn knows about, because we need to track it. Frank, you know where we're at money-wise on this last one? Just roughly. Yeah. So we're still working with the last one. If we get the rain that we're talking about, they're talking about, and they're pretty confident that it's coming, we're gonna have a bigger mess than anything we've seen in a long, long time. So when people start calling, explain to them that the emergency services part of it is gonna be delayed. There's gonna be, as this gentleman just said, there's gonna be roads that I don't know that we get down, they're gonna go down. We're gearing up everything we got with four-wheel drive now to assist EMS if we can help them. I mean, we've got military trucks all ready to go, gassed up. So, you know, it's gonna be a trying time between now and probably Wednesday, and we may have a kind of an idea of what's washed out. There's no school.
We do the best we can with what we got.
Yeah, schools closed March.
Afraid.
Yeah. So we may end up closing schools Wednesday and Thursday also. It just depends. That'd be on the end back at the side if we can send buses. And I don't think we'll be able to if we get what we talked about.
Here.
We started at 6 a.m. this morning. All deputies are working around the clock. They've got them half and half divided day and night. But all deputies are out working.
Yeah, I think we do what we can to get ready, and we'll do what we can after the fact.
But if y'all see a need, excuse me, Mr. If y'all see a need for something, let me know. I've got some calls, a few calls about sandbags. Never had to have a sandbag, but they're worried about them now. Because everybody around us on the coast is doing sandbags, so I'm gonna put in a request for some sandbags. They may rot before we ever use them, hopefully, but we'll have some on hand. But anything that we need, I'm gonna put in some road signs this morning with DOT, see if we can get some of them. And go ahead and put those requests in this morning, because we ain't got enough road close signs. to go around, so. Things like that, if you see a need, let me know, we'll send it up to WBOC, which is the proper way we have to do it. We've got a department head meeting for cities and counties at 1. We're gonna try to do it, it ain't terribly bad, but now it's just wait and see.
What's the number of the call? If somebody was calling in, what number would they call?
6820 or 911, which area, doesn't matter, 191.
Lynn, you got anything else?
No, sir, other than, that's exactly what we're doing, is we're gearing up for it, getting everything ready, chainsaws and all the equipment.
Mr. Tom, you got anything for us?
No, sir.
Frank? Ricky, you got anything else?
No, sir, I do too. I just wanna put it out, and I know we're a few in the numbers, but these dirt roads and the shape that they're in and the rain that we're getting, they're gonna be washed out. If you tell anybody that, and I'm not trying to put words in Lynn's mouth, but, if there's a road that's washed out, we need to know about it so we can see about it. We can't fix something we don't know about. I guess it's the best way to do it.
Make sure you're not only notifying Lynn, but let Walt know too. Walt at the EMA office, they'll be keeping up with those, so, you know, so we can know, and, because if it's washed out and we need to send an ambulance somewhere, we know, so make sure, not only let them know, but let us know for Walt.
Mr. Bobby? Ms. Sheila? Bob here?
What time do things start Saturday?
Do what?
What time is Saturday, emergency, state of emergency?
When the governor signs.
I want to say it was around 10 or 11 o'clock Saturday morning.
I think it was.
I'll verify it. I didn't keep that email up by that Monday. It was Saturday morning, I'm pretty sure. Of the state did see,
On a positive note, they through fading back to Nurse Road, it looks wonderful. There's a little conversation going around about the other side in Harmony. That road's not complete. So the final topic is gonna be wonderful. But it's not complete, that's just the level that they got down there. A lot of Facebook traffic about it. They have to work to get out the way. It's not complete, but some see a pretty road, go right back to that.
Right. I don't know, back to Dartmouth, very nice.
That's all I got.
All right, Mr. Pam, you got anything?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you. All right, hearing nothing else, we'll entertain a